Hello, children. I'm teacher Bошко. Welcome back to our lesson, and this will be our last lesson for this year. Let's take a look at what you're going to need in our lesson. So, like last time, you will need a notebook, a pencil, an eraser, and a mobile phone to take photos in case you want to take note of something important. Let's see what we're going to do today. We will revise what you have learned about the present perfect simple, about will, be going to, and the present continuous for future arrangements. So, let's get started. First, we're going to start with the present perfect simple. We use the present perfect simple when we talk about our experiences in the past. Those experiences are important now, and we can also talk about actions we can see the results of these actions now. So this is a tense that connects the past and the present. Another thing that we should take note of is that we don't say exactly when a present perfect action happened. For example, Maria has tried mountain climbing. She has tried it sometime in the past, but we don't know when, and we don't say it. Okay, so let's take a look. How do we get affirmative sentences, positive ones? So we form the present perfect with have or has and past participle. Have is for all persons except for the third person singular. In the third person singular, we use has. Past participle is either ed for regular verbs or the third column for irregular verbs. So, for example, we can say, she has worked as a waitress, or we have painted our room. Okay, so let's take a look at questions now. We form questions in present perfect using have or has, so this auxiliary verb, plus subject, plus past participle. For example, have you been to Spain? Have comes first, then the subject, you, and then the past participle of the main verb, in this case, been. Have you been to Spain? Has he spent all his money? Okay, let's take a look at negatives. We use the negative of auxiliary verb have or has and past participle to make the negative sentences. So the negative of have is haven't, and the negative of has is hasn't. I haven't worked in Novi Sad. Maria hasn't come home yet. Remember, this is different from past simple because the main verb remains in the past tense, in the past participle. So work worked. Okay. Another thing that we need to take note of when using the present perfect are these expressions: for, since, just yet, already, never, or ever. We use these expressions with the present perfect, and let's take a look at when do we use them. She has known him for 5 years. For is used before time periods to denote how long they lasted. For 5 years. So it has to be a period. He has lived here since 2010. Since marks the starting point of an action. So when something started, 5 minutes ago, in 2010, since 2010, since last year, I've just finished my homework. Just means a very short time ago. So maybe 5 seconds ago, maybe 1 minute ago. So a short time ago. I've already done my homework. It means it's finished before now, already. I've never tried yoga. Never means at no time. We haven't tried something, or we haven't done anything. We haven't done something. Okay? Have you ever tried sushi? When talking about experiences, also, at any time, have you ever done that? Have you ever tried sushi? Have you ever been mountain climbing? And the last one, I haven't met her yet. Yet means so far. It hasn't happened yet. Okay. Another thing we need to make difference of is the verbs been, actually the participles, been and gone. When we talk about visiting places, we sometimes use the past participle of be instead of the past participle go. So we use been instead of gone, and vice versa. We can also use gone and not been. For example, we use been when we refer to completed visits to a place. So we went there and we came back. The visit has finished. I have already been to Budapest. So I went there and I came back. The visit has finished. It's done. However, if the visit hasn't been completed, so it means we are still there, we use gone. Maria is not here. She has gone to Budapest. So she didn't come back home. Okay, so let's try to practice this a little bit. Complete these sentences using the present perfect simple of the verbs in brackets. So here pay attention to the subject. Which form of auxiliary verb do you need? And pay attention to the verb. You need to put it in the past participle. Okay, have you finished? Let's check. Mary not be to Spain, so she wants to go there this summer. Mary is she, third person singular, so here we need has, right? Actually, we need the negative of has. Mary hasn't been to Spain, so she wants to go there this summer. Okay, let's see. She not decide which part of Spain she wants to visit. Right, she hasn't decided which part of Spain she wants to visit. Number 3, we buy our tickets. We have, right? We have bought our tickets. What about number 4? Steve isn't here. He is third person singular, so we need has. He has gone home. He's not here. He has gone. And the last one, I meet a lot of famous people. I, first person singular, have met a lot of famous people. Okay, let's try to practice questions too. Make questions using the present perfect of the verbs in these brackets. Okay, have you finished? Let's check. The first one, they come back from football practice. That's right. Have they come back from football practice? Number 2, you see James. You, right? We need have. Have you seen James? Mary, try snorkeling. That's right. Mary is third person singular, so we need has. Has Mary tried snorkeling? Number 4, we pack everything we need? Have we packed everything we need? And the last one, she booked the tickets for the game. That's right. Has she booked the tickets for the game? Okay, easy, right? Now, let's try to talk about the future a little bit. First, we're going to talk about the future simple or will. We use will to make predictions about the future based on our knowledge, beliefs, or experiences. For example, it will be cold in the mountains. Bring a sweater. So I know I've been in the mountains. I know it's usually cold there. It will probably be cold again. I think Bill will come home for Christmas. So this is our opinion, our belief. I think Bill will come home for Christmas. Let's see, how do we make positive sentences, affirmative ones? So we use will and infinitive to make positive sentences. Note here that we can contract will to apostrophe double L in positive sentences. It'll rain tomorrow. I think it will rain tomorrow. So the full form is will rain, and the contracted short form is it'll rain tomorrow. Okay, so this is our belief, our opinion. That's why we use will. Let's take a look at questions now. In questions, we use will, and then we put the subject and then the main verb in infinitive to make questions. For example, will John come to the party? Yes, he will, or no, he won't. These are the two kinds of answers we can have for this short question. For this question, sorry. So we have short answers. This is a yes or no question. Will John come? Yes, he will, or no, he won't. Let's take a look at negative ones. Oh, John is sad. John won't come to the party. So we use will not, or its short form, won't, plus infinitive to make negative sentences. So now that we know this, let's try to practice. Write sentences using will or won't. So make your predictions. Pay attention if you need a negative sentence. So if you need won't, there is the word not in the sentence. Okay, let's do it. Have you finished? Okay, let's take a look. The first one, I will be a vet when I grow up. Number 2, I think my sister will be a singer because she loves singing. In the future, there will not be enough clear water. It's okay if you put won't. In the future, there won't be enough clean water. Number 4, will there be internet in the future? And the last one, will they get married? Okay, so that's it. We're done with will. Now let's talk about be going to. Be going to is used to talk about our future plans and our intentions. For example, she's going to take her camera on holiday. So this is her plan. And we can also use it to predict the future based on something we see right now or based on some kind of evidence. For example, look at the sky, it's going to rain. So we can probably see a lot of clouds outside. And we predict the future based on that, based on what we see. So let's take a look. How do we get positive sentences? In positive sentences, we use the verb be in one of its forms, am, is, or are, plus going to, and plus verb in its base form, or actually infinitive, bare infinitive. So we have an example here. We are going to have dinner in a restaurant, but we aren't going to stay late. So this is our plan, our intention. We're going to a restaurant and we say we are going to have dinner. Okay, so that's easy. For questions, we need to invert the position of the subject and the verb be. So we put be first in one of its forms, am, is, or are. Then we put the subject, and then going to, and then the verb in its base form. For example, are we going to have dinner in a restaurant? So first we put be here in its form are because the subject is we. Then we put the subject, and then going to, and then the verb in its base form. This is a question this is a yes or no question actually, and we can have two short answers. Those are yes, we are, or no, we aren't. And the last thing that we're going to say about be going to is negative sentences. So for negative sentences, we just add the word not to the verb be. For example, am, is, or are, plus not, plus going to, and plus the verb in its base form. We can contract am not to not, are not to aren't, and is not to isn't. For example, we are not going to have dinner in a restaurant. You can also write aren't. We aren't going to have dinner in a restaurant. Okay, so that's it. Easy, right? Let's practice be going to. Try to write these 5 sentences using be going to. So pay attention to the subject and make sure that you use the correct form of be, am, is, or are, or maybe its negative form. Okay, have you finished? Let's see. The first one. They are going to go shopping on Saturday. So we put are. They are. In the next one, we need a question. So we need to put the verb be in the first place. And then we put the subject and then going to. Is Andrew going to phone me tonight? Number 3. Tom is not going to study maths. Is not or isn't. Number 4. Are you going to watch a film on TV? Are you? Are comes first and then the subject you. And the last one, so pay attention. Here we have a question and we have a question word. When? If you have a question word, it has to be in the first place at the beginning of a question. And then the rest goes as usual. When are they going to get married? So first we put the question word, when, and then the auxiliary verb, be, and then the subject, and then going to, and then the main verb. Okay, so we're still in the future, but let's talk about present continuous for future arrangements. So this is another use of present continuous when we talk about the future. Present continuous is mostly used to describe actions that are happening at the moment of speech right now. However, when we talk about future arrangements, so our plans that we have organized and decided on, usually with someone, then we can use present continuous for that future action or plan. So let's take a look at a few examples. I'm meeting Jim at the airport. So this means that we have discussed this. This is our plan. I called Jim and I said, "Hey, Jim, are we going to meet at the airport?" And Jim says, "Yeah, we're going to meet there." So this is our plan, our arrangement. I'm meeting Jim there. And let's take a look at another one. My brother is playing football with his friends tonight. So they have organized this. They also said they texted each other on Viber or maybe on WhatsApp. And they said, "Hey guys, are we playing football tonight?" And they all said, "Yes, let's go there at 6 p.m. So they have organized it. Let's try to practice a little bit. So choose the correct option. You have a few. You have actually 2 offered. So you need to choose one. Pay attention. Look. Be careful. Do you need will? Do you need be going to? Do you need maybe present continuous? Try to do it. Okay. Have you finished? Let's take a look. So the first one, I am going to or I will work harder next term. I really want to pass my exams. So my opinion is that this is some kind of a plan, right? So we need be going to. I am going to work harder next term. I want this. This is my plan, my intention, right? Okay, let's take a look at number 2. I think you are going to, or I think you will like my sister. I think, right? This is my opinion, my belief. So we need will. I think you'll like my sister. Let's take a look at number 3. We are going to, or we will go to the party. We are going to go to the party. This is our plan, our intention. Number 4. At 5 p.m., I am going to, or I will leave the house. So this is my plan. I am going to leave the house. Number 5. They are going to, or they will go to university next year. They are going to go to university next year. This is their intention, their plan. Number 6. She plays or she's playing football this afternoon. That's right. This is an arrangement probably, right? So we need the present continuous. She is playing football this afternoon. Number 7. We will meet or we are meeting them at 2 p.m. tomorrow. That's right. This is also an arrangement. You talked to someone, you made a plan, you organized it. So we are meeting them at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And the last one, I am going or I go to the cinema tonight. That's right. This is my plan. I am going to the cinema tonight. Okay, great job, guys. How did you do? What do you find the most difficult? Is there anything you could improve? Maybe something you're unsure of? Ask your teachers. I hope you had fun in our lesson and have a great summer holiday. That's it. This is our last lesson. Goodbye.